Local veteran broadcaster Jerry George says Eli Louis led a purpose-driven life because he pursued his passion. The engineer extraordinaire passed away in the United Kingdom over the Easter holidays. Since then, the media fraternity and other individuals have been raving about the type of person he was both professionally and personally. George's account of Louis was no different.
I believe that Eli was born to do what he did. And that's why he lived a purpose-driven life, I think, unaffected by the vagaries of the events happening around him. He was somebody who everybody recognized as being a kind individual, somebody who is willing to be of assistance to you at any time, not only in terms of his technical skills, but just as an ordinary person. He was unassuming, a very generous type of individual, and especially with giving you his time and advice. I did say that he was somebody who was humble as well as full of wisdom when it came particularly to calming your nerves, especially when you're angry, because most people would recognize Eli as somebody who was stable and quite clear in what they wanted to achieve in whatever situation he found themselves.
George recounts how Eli's work ethic stood out from the start of his job life at RSL.
I remember Eli starting what was called then an attachment. We now call it, of course, internships, and he was coming from the Castries Comprehensive Secondary School. And immediately it was recognized that Eli devoured every repair job that the management, allowed him to service in terms of equipment. So much so that everybody was impressed with his work ethic, always there very early, always very respectful of other workers, etc. And I think that these are the qualities that the manager at the time, Mr. Winston Springer Sr., saw in Eli and just scooped him up, just grabbed him and says, "You're not going back out into the work field. We will keep you here at RSL." And that was the beginning of his work as a broadcast engineer in St. Lucia.
The veteran broadcaster also recalled Eli's efforts with other collaborators on impressive technical feats.
I think what most of us will remember is that together with Linford Favre, who was the station's engineer at the time, they surfaced the AM transmitters, because we must remember that at the time, and I'm talking there about mid-80s, FM transmissions were nowhere around. It was just basically a link to the transmitter and the studio. But the AM transmitters were king, and to keep these babies hanging, or to keep these babies humming, it called for a task in itself. And I think that both Eli and Favre did a fantastic job in terms of doing that. They worked on the upgrade of the 10 kilowatt transmitter to 20 kilowatts. They worked at the Babonneau transmitting station, on the RSL transmitter at Mont Leblanc, at the FM station on the St. Lucia, the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College campus. So, he had a lot of interest in that, and he did it as though it was nothing, simply because it was something that he was born to do.
Jerry George says Eli Louis was a bit idealistic in that he wanted to assist everyone, especially friends and colleagues. Louis was affiliated with a number of broadcast stations in St. Lucia. Gina Filippi, HCS News Force.